My f23, husband m26, hates how easy I have it. Hi everyone. Me and my husband started dating 3 years ago. We got married after 2 years and have a 7-month-old son now. He makes really good money, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I always thought I'd end up in a happy marriage with a big family, but it seems impossible with my husband. I come from a good family, finished a good education with good grades. I'm attractive, I'm kind, and pretty much every person I interact with immediately likes me. This isn't me trying to brag, I'm just trying to give context. My husband, however, didn't come from a good family. He dropped out of school at 16 and was never able to keep friends for a long time. He is very introverted. I never held any of this against him. I love him just the way he is. When we first met, we immediately fell for each other, and we were both looking for marriage and kids. Even though we were just dating at that point, the dynamic shifted to him paying for everything in the relationship, and he didn't seem to mind. I did have a job at that time, but I ended up quitting because he had to stay at the other half of the world for medical reasons. I was by his side. After almost a year of dating, I noticed that he sometimes made mocking comments about me. For example, when someone would give me a compliment in front of him, he'd make me feel bad about it later. He'd make me feel bad about never having to have struggled in life, and how he's an idiot for making my life even easier, by paying for our rent and groceries. One time he also said, "You must think you're better than everyone else," after I got my hair done. I enjoy taking care of myself, but I'm not weird about it. I don't even post on social media or bully people. So I got pregnant and we got married. When I entered my second trimester, I still wasn't showing at all. I almost wasn't showing throughout the entire pregnancy and kept my body. I didn't even have any symptoms. It was nice, but that made him mad. He seemed rather excited about me having to go through the struggle of pregnancy and finally knowing what struggle is. When he noticed the pregnancy was going perfectly, he started talking about the birth. How it was the worst pain in the world, and he seemed really amused imagining me going through that. He even talked about me probably having an emergency, and they have to perform C-section. Birth went smooth. I only pushed for a few minutes. I didn't need an epidural, and our son was born healthy. I am extremely lucky. He then went on to say how for the next 2 years my life will just be crying in diapers, and I will lose myself. Well, guess what? I really enjoy motherhood so far. My body hasn't changed that much. I still exercise and eat healthy, and we hire a nanny for a few hours a week, so I can get some me time. I still look like myself. I'm just a bit more tired. He heavily encouraged getting nannies and everything for our child, since we can afford it, and it really does help, but now he's even pissed at that. Recently he called me a bad mother for leaving our son with the nanny for 3 hours while I get my nails done once a month. Overall, he just hates how easy everything comes to me. I am extremely grateful, and I did try communicating with him about this. But he doesn't even have a reasoning for why he thinks I deserve to feel struggle. I realize that I'm slowly losing feelings for him, and this isn't what a happy relationship isn't supposed to be like. Wouldn't it be nice to have a life partner who is happy when you're happy, and doesn't want you to suffer? Does this guy even like you? Imagine what he says about you when you aren't around. Why do you love someone who is so insecure, unkind, and mean? What do you think they will be like when your child fails or succeeds at something? You've been ignoring red flags since the first year of dating, of him mocking you. You continued to date, then marry a man who you kept seeing the red flags. Now you have a 7-month-old and not working, and the red flags are getting to be too much to ignore. I think you know what you need to do, but you don't want to do it. He didn't have friends because he was a jerk. His life is a struggle because he is a jerk. This is the tip of the iceberg. He's going to suck you dry mentally and emotionally to validate and feed himself. My former husband loved my misery. My now husband loves making my life easier, better, and relishes opportunities to lift me up. I can't fathom how I tolerated someone who eagerly did the opposite for a decade. I mean, it sounds like this guy hates you. Bare minimum, he openly resents you, and that is not going to get better. My 27F fiancé 30M of 2 weeks screamed at me and told me to give the ring back. I, 27F, have been engaged to my fiancé 30M for 2 weeks. We've been together for almost 3 years. We had some issues about 3 months ago because he was using Darvo as a tactic to avoid blame when he hurt my feelings. He didn't realize it was abusive, and after therapy he was way better. If he hadn't been so receptive to therapy, I would have never said yes. It was like he turned over a whole new leaf. Anyways, We went to go visit his family this weekend to celebrate the engagement. We were in the car for about an hour before he told me my office was a hoarder's den and a fire hazard. For context, I have about medium pile of sewing projects folded and in a corner, and a few articles of clothes on the ground in front of my closet that I hadn't gotten to putting back on a hanger this week. No vents or outlets have ever been blocked/obstructed. This upset me because he always nitpicks my space, and it's not any messier than his office. I also do 90% of the cleaning and cooking for the house because he's more busy with school and work at the moment. I did raise my voice, not yell, which I know isn't right and isn't like me at all. He snapped and screamed at me, which he's never done before. I started crying because I was abused as a kid, and it triggered me and really freaked me out. He yelled at me to give the ring back. I started crying harder and told him I wanted to go home. He continued to drive. At some point he realized he really fucked up and tried to be nice to me, but it was already too late. I started having a panic attack. We still didn't turn around. We tried to talk about it at a rest stop later, and then I continued to cry for the next almost 2 hours. He just kept asking if I was going to be okay in time to see his family during the last hour of the drive. I pulled it together, but I don't think it's fair that I even had to do that. He's very apologetic, and he's going to start individual therapy now that we're home again. He's never screamed at me before like that. I just don't know what to do. This is the 4th time he's threatened a breakup during an argument. I told him I would leave him if he ever did it again the last time. He was doing so well with therapy. We also almost never fight, and we really don't have any other problems. I just don't know if he can actually change. I don't want to feel dumb in 10 years if the therapy only works for a little bit, and then he goes right back to how he used to be. Is there any hope that he turns it around and permanently changes for the better? I really don't want to end things, but I also really don't want to make a bad life decision. Give him the ring back, get out of there, and do not look back. That was his real self coming out and speaking from experience. It will not change. So break up with him. Empty threats mean he can do it again. Have some self-respect. If you don't want to feel dumb in the future, it's best not to give him a 5th opportunity to threaten you. You told him you would leave, so leave. He's already escalating. He will get worse if you stay. I didn't even need to finish reading beyond the first few lines. You fully admit that he was using abusive tactics and claim that he was recovered through therapy after 3 months. No, honey, he was able to fake it to manipulate you to accepting his engagement so he can entrap you further. Run, don't walk. Give him the ring back and thank your lucky stars that he showed his true colors before you were legally bound to him. Triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag. He's shown you who he is. Listen to him. I, 23F, am extremely unhappily married to my 23M husband. It's only been 3 years, but I'm really starting to see how big of a mistake it was to have married my husband. I get nothing I've wanted from him, while he still expects and wants a lot from me. And the multiple conversations I've had with him about it, somehow I get manipulated into thinking I'm the problem. And that's not even the worst part. We are opposites in every way. We're constantly disagreeing with each other and want different things out of life. I want to leave him, but he is someone who refuses to separate. Not to mention I love his mother and don't want to disappoint her. I've tried to tell myself to just do what I want to do, and eventually he'll see what I see. But it's been 2 years of actively trying to change his view. Nobody knows I feel this way, and I'm scared I'll never get the courage to divorce him. Even told myself I probably deserve to be unhappy on top of all my normal misery, because I often make mistakes like these. I know that's not true. Still, every time I try to tell him I want to leave, he finds some way to twist it, and we make up. Only for me to feel the same way again after. When I think about the things that had me in love with him, it's all just charisma. He was funny, and at 17 and 18 we had more in common. He has also been a huge help to me financially. Before we tied the knot, I was having some serious bad luck, and he was there to help every time. That's another thing I would be guilty about. I'm much more financially stable now, but I've also changed a lot. So we don't have much in common anymore, and he is constantly hurting me emotionally. I no longer want to deal with it, especially because I realized I'd be much happier by myself, even if that meant living out of a van. I have a lot more context and plenty of examples if that helps. But this is just the rundown of my situation right now. Do I come out and be brutally honest about how I feel, even if it means having a bad ending with him? Or do I try harder to make him see we're not good for each other and hope we can mutually agree on parting ways? Or am I actually the problem and need more therapy? Better a bad ending at 23 than looking back at a loveless life at 93. You don't need his permission to split up. It's pointless to try to litigate a breakup into being a mutual agreement. And protecting his mother's feelings would be a very silly reason to waste years of your life in a relationship that makes you miserable. When I was 6, I liked point cruisers. When I was 16, I did not. Honestly, if you've already tried to change things with many conversations and haven't achieved anything, the best thing to do is escape and be happy. I was in a similar situation for 3 years, although I wasn't married, and after many bad times and conversations, the best thing I did was make a smoke bomb. From then on, my life changed radically, and I knew what it meant to be happy again. It may not be the best advice you can hear, but it's what worked for me. I hope it helps. Here is a lesson it's important to learn now: you cannot change someone else. The only thing you have control of is your own actions. If he wanted to change, he would. We do not have some magic words that are going to make him see your point. He hears you, he does not care. Just keep this in mind. You're 23, it's only been 3 years, and you already sound like you're on the verge of offing yourself for him. So okay, let's say you stay with him cause you're scared. That means that's these 3 years, which for you sounds like it's been 25 and not 3, is just the beginning of a lifetime of this bullshit. All just because you don't want to disappoint his mom face with raised eyebrow. He's young ASF, his life is not over, and he'll have plenty of time to find someone else. Or you could continue and prolong this to then end up divorced at 55 with even more limited options. Choice is yours. I, f25, want to divorce my m33 husband, but he will not accept it. We have been married for 3 years, and in the last year and a half I have been extremely unhappy. I have tried having conversations with him about how I feel neglected and that my needs haven't been met, but nothing ever changed. So he had plenty of chances to fix things. 2 weeks ago, I told him I want to separate and that I am absolutely firm on my decision, but ever since, he has been acting like nothing ever happened. He's pretending like everything is okay and back to normal. I've brought it up almost daily that I still want a divorce, but he just will not accept it. He says he's not quitting. I just want this to go as peacefully as possible, but I don't know how else to approach this. What is your best advice on how I can approach this that will truly get him to accept it, and how I best move forward with this? Get a lawyer. The cool thing is he doesn't have to accept it. It literally doesn't matter what he thinks. Just do it. Step 1. Start packing your things. 2. Get a lawyer. 3. Figure out where you will move to. Lawyer and initiate divorce. That way he cannot continue to ignore. If he has a history with being temperamental, you may want to ally yourself with family so you can go there and be safe when and after he's served. You can consult with a lawyer and file for divorce without his permission. A breakup is not a negotiation or a debate. This is a legal issue, not a relationship issue. Talk to a lawyer. Your husband doesn't have to accept anything. You don't need to convince him of anything, so don't waste your time and energy by trying. Just start the legal process.